Welcome to this Sunday morning guided meditation program. I'm going to make a confession. The theme that I have in mind for this week is about the way in which right view or wisdom leads to making the heart peaceful. Although I am positive that this is true, trying to discover in those suttas a single, concise, and clear teaching on this point was extraordinarily difficult for me. Why? Because the truth is not that simple. It's not that easy. It's quite elusive. If you think about right view, you can recite the formula for what right view is very easily, but it's just not that simple. And to make the connection between right view and the transformation of one's psychology, which is conducive to inner peace and social harmony, is also not that it's very clear, but it's not that simple, and it's not just in one sutta. It's in combination of many. So the net of all of that was that the weekly email about the week programs for this week that I was supposed to send out on Friday or Saturday actually was sent out about 5 minutes ago. So one of the teachings that I came across was about several of the teachings that I came across were about how people who have not become accomplished in right view get tied up in different kinds of duality about the self, different kinds of opinions about the past and the future. And so in that way, going beyond those kinds of dualities and those opinions is one part of peace. And then there was another part of peace that struck me as being really powerful. And this is what I'd like us to reflect about this morning. And that is on one occasion, the Buddha was explaining about a certain terrible hell realm where everything that one experiences would be difficult and unpleasant and horrible. And the monk, the bhikkhu, inquired, well, is there anything that's even more horrible than hell? And the Buddha replied that it would be even more terrible if a person has not accomplished right view. And then they would have the kind of volitions which lead one on to old age, sickness, death, and rebirth, and the cycle of samsara. And they would delight in those kind of volitions and persist in those kind of volitions. And this would be a fate worse than having to spend one of your lifetimes in the lowest and most horrible kind of a hell room. And then the opposite of that is a person who's become accomplished in right view, uh, for whom they would not delight in the volitions that keep them going around and around in samsara. They would let go of those kind of volitions. So for this Sunday practice, this morning practice, which is about meditation, I thought it would be quite useful to try doing vipassana meditation and see if it's possible to notice when a volition or an intention arises in the mind. For example, if one is doing loving kindness meditation, metta meditation, one is bringing up the wholesome intention of non-harming, of non-ill will, generosity, the intention for all beings, including oneself, to all as to oneself, to be free from anger, free from hatred, free from anxiety. That's an intention. So you could notice that if that happens. If one is practicing meditation and you've chosen a theme for a meditation, like during this sit, you'll be meditating on the breath or meditating on loving kindness or some other a particular theme, then you are intending on purpose, by choice, to set your mind on that theme of meditation. And then you're able to connect the awareness to that theme. And if you are able to persist and stay with that theme of meditation throughout the meditation period, that will be because the mind is able to hold on to that intention to settle and stabilize on that one kind of thought. On the contrary, it could happen sometime that we come to meditation because it's the time for meditation, but actually we don't want to. Actually, what we really want to do is worry about our problems, or plan the grocery list, or think about something that was pleasant and entertaining. And then even though we've come to the meditation cushion, sat in meditation, and go through the motions of taking the theme of the meditation, the mind never really connects with the theme of meditation. And instead, one might just sit and spend that meditation period thinking about something enjoyable, or worrying about your problems, or planning for the future. And so if that's the case, perhaps you have like a mix of different intentions going on that you sort of want to practice meditation, but you also would like to do something else instead. And then those other intentions come out on top, and then they could actually stop a person from being able to really connect with the theme of meditation. Or else it could happen, this happens very frequently. One establishes a theme of meditation and you make that connection and you stay with that connection, and then after about a few minutes, um, the mind loses interest in the theme of meditation. And then a car drives by and the mind jumps out to paying attention to the sound of the car, or the bird sings, or the dog barks, and the mind jumps away from the theme of meditation and pays attention to that sound. Why? It's because you want to. That's like, it's a volition to, if unless the theme that you've chosen is the sensitivity to the ear, the hearing faculty at the ear, and being alert and aware and receptive to all the different sounds. Uh, so, so the mind is very difficult to get a hold of. It rapidly jumps around like a fish. Like if you catch a fish, I guess you can go fishing by putting your hand in the stream and just kind of like waiting patiently, and then a fish will come like swimming by, and then you can just grab a hold of the fish and bring it up with your hand. That's one of the methods of fishing. But the fish is flapping and flipping around because it wants to get back to the water. So this is how the mind is. The mind can be like, the mind has a mind of its own. Uh, so as we come into meditation, I'm not going to guide you in having a restless mind which is jumping around here and there. I'll guide, I'll guide you on a theme of meditation. But if the mind is able or willing to stay on the theme of meditation, I wonder if you could try to be aware that the mind is staying with that theme, or if the mind is uh, uh, jumping away from that theme. You can be aware of that as a volition. Mm. Excuse me 1 second.
Aya, you're muted.
Before we go into the meditation, I'd like to ask if there are any questions about the assignment that I'm offering for this morning. Okay, Anita and Saket.
Aya, we were wondering, so is it to be aware of our intentions or volition during the meditation?
Yes.
Thank you.
if you were in the 4 foundations of mindfulness, if you were practicing the 4th foundation, which is the contemplation of the Dhamma, and within that, if you were practicing the contemplation of the 5 aggregates of clinging, the 4th aggregate is sankhara. And so that way it is a legitimate, I guess, a part of one of the themes of contemplation. But it's not really a standard, like a method of meditation. Usually one is practicing like open awareness, or watching the breath, or watching loving kindness, or some other meditation procedure. So that's why the meditation procedure is one thing, but the aspect of our experience that I'm asking us to be alert to is that. Okay, so now I'm going to excuse myself because a person has come offering the meal for the day. They have to leave immediately and go to Aranya Bodhi Hermitage to offer the meal over there. And I do not have a second bhikkhuni who is able to receive the food from them. So that's the way it is. And we're going to go over here. And sorry for the interruption, but I'll ask you to join me in rejoicing that somebody has brought some food, and the bhikkhunis will have something to eat today, so we can join in generosity. Okay. The spotlight. So I'm going to take the camera over there so they can watch the food being offered. Hello. We're having a Zoom program. So the bhikkhuni, the members of Zoom are going to share in offering this dana. Okay, so here's the dana.
How are you? Did you see me worshiping you? You see that? He sees, she sees everything. Okay, Ayya can deliver.
Yes, come quickly. Now you're on you're on TV.
Good. Yeah, I will do it.
Sure.
No,
No.
I still have running.
You're going to offer the food by picking up the entire table. Just sleep. Mhm. What is your dedication of the merits for today?
Oh, birthday.
Happy birthday. So, Unamodana, for your birthday, may you be happy and wise, and have no problems or no obstacles for your life and for your spiritual progress.
Sad.
Sammityo vivajantu Sabavogo vinasatu mate bhavatantarayo Sukhi digayuko bhala dhanasili sanityam buddha pachayino chattaro dhamma vatanti ayuvanno sukham bhalam.
Thank you. Yes.
So perhaps it may be a sign of having attained the right view if one is not disturbed or discombobulated by anything that happens within our meditation or at any time of our life. Let's sit for meditation now. Coming to an upright and balanced posture. Letting go of the past and future. Letting the mind be quiet and peaceful. Aware of sensations in the body. Aware of the feeling. What it's like right now. Pleasant, unpleasant, neutral. aware of all the touching sensations, touching the body. The weight of the body on the chair or cushion. The hands touching. The temperature of air touching the skin. And any sensations anywhere on the skin. Whether it's pleasant or unpleasant. Being fully aware, open, relaxed, content, just present and aware for the touch of sensation on the skin. Anywhere in the body. Or the sensations inside the body of the muscles, the joints, the nerves. Breathing in, aware. Breathing out, relaxed. If the touch of the breath is noticeable, aware of the breath. Staying with the breath. And during the last few minutes, I'm bringing in the thought of loving kindness. May all beings be safe and free of harm, free of ill will, free of anxiety. May all beings be well and happy, to oneself as to all as to oneself. And aware of the mental shift or the shift in the feeling when bringing up these thoughts. I would welcome any questions or comments about whether it's possible to notice volition. And or if you would like to comment about participating and offering the dana, whether that made today's session even more enjoyable or whether it spoiled it. I think Anagarika Mitakanti is going to offer some comment.
Yeah, I do think, especially with the last meta part, that there is sort of a change in the quality of the mind, I guess. There is like some a little bit more energy, a little bit more brightness that's associated with that intention. And I do think that my understanding of that would be that noticing that would also be part of the third satipatthana, the chitta satipatthana, possibly the fourth also, if it relates to like the hindrances and stuff like that. But it's interesting to like see the sort of, or try to be more aware of the quality of awareness, I guess, or attention. Yeah.
And the chitta nupassana indeed is about the quality of mind or the quality of awareness, and the of of when there's a shift in the volition towards loving kindness, and in the under the Dhammanupassana, where we're looking at volition in terms of the aggregates, that's really sort of like on the side of dukkha, and on seeing when there's a restlessness or any kind of instability or uncontrollable, impermanent qualities of volition, and then just seeing and noticing those aspects of volition as part of samsaric existence. But both things are true. But the difference between like simple body awareness or awareness of the senses and bringing up the definite thought of metta is so dramatic, and it makes it so much easier to be able to see the mind when we see how the mind transforms. Okay, so I think there's a question from Maitri.
Thank you. It's actually a comment. I had a very interesting meditation today, and I think both aspects that you mentioned were involved. So I wanted to kind of explain what was going on. Not sure it was whether what type of meditation I was doing. Maybe the last part was more Dhammanupassana or investigating Dhamma Vichaya kind of work. But so as I started the meditation and was feeling looking at the sensations in the body, etc., and as you were guiding it, my mind had gone into thinking about going to visit a monastic, and I believe part of this was triggered by the two devotees coming and offering dana to you, Ayya, and so it was kind of like a movie playing out. I'm driving, going to see this monastic where I've gone before, and I see in front there's a fork in the road. There's a turn that I have to take, and I'm quickly perception was quickly coming into play and trying to decide which path to take, and I decided that I had to hang a right. And as soon as I did that, I realized, oh, my mind's kind of going all over, just thinking about this thing. And but where I had stopped was I made this volitional act to make a turn. And I was thinking, this is volition at play, and informed by um, um, form, feeling, perception, making this volitional act to make a turn. And I was thinking, this is what we've got to do all the time. That this volition is such an integral part in the path. And I was so at this point now I'm fully aware, and I'm thinking about the Dhamma here, and I was thinking about how all of these five aggregate form, feeling, perception informs and consciousness informs volition, and we have to make these volitional decisions to stay on the path, and that these five aggregates are really a vehicle to our final destination, making these volitional acts every step of the way to get to where
Yes.
you want to get to. So
Very
this is
good.
thank you, Ayya.
I don't want to have the confusion that if the mind wants to think about visiting the monastic and offering dana, that's bad. And if the mind is willing to just stay on the meditation and stay with awareness of in the present moment, that's good. Because actually all of it is part of the conditioned samsara. And so even if you had like a perfect meditation where the mind is staying in the present moment, going to the object and just staying concentrated on the object of meditation, when you come out of that, you would realize this is also conditioned. It's also part of samsara, also impermanent, also part of this changeable aspect of things. And so, but what you point to is um, very, very good observation. And clearly entertaining and delighting in the kind of volitions that are leading us in the wrong direction is not what we want to do. Okay, so now I'll call on either Anita or Saket, whoever wants to speak.
Hello, Aya. We have a friend, Wes, who's joined us as well today. And Wes
Okay.
has a question.
Uh, I'll try and frame the question. It's just about the tendency I noticed where, like, when anxious kind of tension kind of arises in the body or is there to begin during a meditation. It's like the volition to get rid of it. Sometimes it's like when my mindfulness is there, I can have some amount of like okayness with it, or sit with it and not have it bother me. But then it seems like sometimes like the fight, that fight kind of is lost when my mindfulness is lost, and then I'll realize it just feels like I'm trying to get rid of uh, this tension or whatever it is. So maybe you could speak to that. It's like if our mindfulness isn't there, is that what happens? Do you know what I'm kind of talking about?
The process of the mind or the process of our psychology is going on and on, whether or not mindfulness is present. So one can in any activity of life or anything we do can be done with different degrees of awareness. So then when mindfulness is present, one is remembering to be aware more and more continuously of the process. I want to sort of give take care not to, there's no blame, there's no fault. Everything that we experience is because of causes and conditions. And then if we think that we're meditating badly or something like that, that will make it more difficult, not making it easier. but just trying to, with a, even if the mind is extremely restless, to simply like compassionately notice this is what there is. This is what we have right now. I hope does that answer the question? Yeah. Okay. Well, for those who are interested in coming back for us to study at 1 o'clock, we're going to speak about the monks of Kosambi, who are the harmonious bhikkhus. They're so delightful and pleasant to each other. And the thing that's the most delightful is that they have the shared noble view. So I hope that some of you may be happy to come back and continue the conversation. But this aspect of noticing volition is just one of the many fundamental exercises or procedures that we can develop in order to keep practicing and practicing and practicing until there's the breakthrough to the noble view, in which case the peace and harmony of the mind, the warm, loving and delightful qualities will become natural and intuitive, and will experience much less difficulty. Until we get there, the byword is patience. Patience, patience, gotta have patience. So just be patient and keep practicing, practicing in line with the teachings. And then one day there will be that breakthrough. And a lot of what maybe is done with difficulty and effort later on can become easy and natural. So let's give respect to the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. The Lord, the perfectly enlightened and blessed one, I render homage to the Buddha, the blessed one. The teaching so completely explained by him, I bow to the Dhamma. The Blessed One's disciples who have practiced well, I bow to the Sangha. Thank you, everyone, for your participation and your patient listening today.
Thank you, Ayya.
Thank you, Ayya.
Thank